Hello, and welcome to issue number 70 of Headline Heroes, a comedy podcast where we take today's headlines and create a comic book origin story. My name is Tanner Ackerman. I almost said Drew Mick.
I know, and I'm Nathan Ains. I was worried about that might happen, but then I was like, it could be funny.
I saved it.
Yeah, so Drew Mick, off on his own little adventure this weekend, wasn't able to join us, so it's just the two of us this week. Tanner, we've been pretty busy, honestly. We're recording just a couple of days before we actually have to put this episode out. But what have you been up to, man? What's been keeping you busy lately?
Just important stuff. I've been playing that Spider-Man video game a lot lately.
I've heard of that one because I've been playing it. Yeah, what a great game. It's just we're not being paid to say this, but what a great game.
It really is revolutionary.
One thing that I thought was that they did really different that I've never seen in a Spider-Man game before, because big fan of Spider-Man 2. Obviously, everyone who likes Spider-Man games usually likes that one because of the swinging. What I thought was weird is how you started the game as the Spider, and you played for about 3 hours of just kind of crawling around a lab. And if you bite anyone else, you lose. You just kind of build it was some good mini games on building a web, but just a really bizarre choice.
Yeah, and it was a lot of trial and error because from the Spider's vision, it's very difficult to tell who is who. So you didn't really know who Peter was.
And it was largely guesswork. There was no hint system or something you were supposed to detect. And you just got to keep biting people until it's the right one.
Yeah. The game does not hold your hand.
What was your, I don't know, what's one of your thoughts on it? What have you thought was an interesting choice, or what have you had fun with?
Another interesting choice, I thought. They really weren't afraid to kind of go outside the box, where you had to spend one whole day as just Peter Parker, literally 24 hours of it in real time, just going through his day. And it was just a day where nothing really happened that he needed to go Spider-Man for. So he's kind of ran errands, helped Aunt May, all of that. I 24 hours was a long time. It took me all week to get through it because it can only play so much a day. But I respect him for doing that.
There was the part where the screen was just black for 8 hours because he was sleeping, and you couldn't skip it. You just had to leave it on. But you had to roll over every now and again, or it would think you weren't playing and shut off the Xbox or the PlayStation 4 rather.
Yeah, well, you got the Xbox copy?
Yeah. Oh, well, don't tell anybody. My dad works at Nintendo, so. Yeah, I thought just very, really bold choice. I also liked how they made you shoot Uncle Ben.
That part was
really put you in the mindset of the killer. And I think it worked. I really sympathized with him.
Yeah, that was really bold, is I guess how I would describe it. Really bold to have you shoot.
A lot of blood. Lot of blood.
It was like a Tarantino movie.
You thought he died after the gunshot, but nope, he had to keep hitting him for a while, and it was almost too much, but it was artfully done.
He only had one bullet, so you did have to just start beating him with whatever you could find.
Fun mini game.
So yeah, Spider-Man.
Highly recommend it.
11 out of 10.
Speaking of superheroes, Tanner, would you mind if I told you what it is that we do here?
I wish you would.
Okay. Well, then I shall. Every week, most weeks, you, Drew, and myself get together, and this week it's just the two of us, and we grab an article, a strange and bizarre headline from online, and we use that as an origin story for a superhero or a supervillain. Now, you've selected one at random this week, as we do every week. And what do you have for us to do this week? And what are we making?
Okay, so yeah, this week we're making a villain because last week, I paused because last week we created the kind of at first he was a bad guy, then he turns hero to help Earth. The guy who he essentially looked like a pickle, but he wasn't really what a species looked like, and his name was General Gherkin, which is one of the best names we've ever made because, as I said before, it sounds like a Mortal Kombat character, which I just love. So that would mean this week we are making a villain, and yes, I have picked an article at random, but with a little twist. These are all just 3 articles Drew found and submitted to us, so he can still kind of be part of this episode in spirit.
So thank you very much, Drew, for sending this in.
Yeah, thank you, Drew Mick, from the Headline Heroes podcast.
More like Headline Zeros. Got him.
I got him. So let's see. This week, the headline is number 1 for you, which is Virginia man accused of rubbing produce on buttocks and putting it back on shelves.
Where am I seeing this, Tanner?
Oh, right.
I wasn't sure if you put it somewhere or what.
No, I'm just dumb.
Drew, cut all this, please.
Drew, please edit this.
I think Drew probably has his waveform identified, so like he'll know when we say Drew in the audio. He'll just be like, yeah, I can tell by the waveform that they said my name. But really, how are you going to send this?
I just sent it in the Facebook group chat, so Drew will see it, so he knows what article we're doing.
Michael Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was going to point it out if you didn't.
Do you think he was originally named Dwayne Johnson, but just couldn't handle the pressure of being compared to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, so he changed it to Michael?
I don't know. Does it say how old he is? Because I wonder if it was like
27.
Parent. That can't be because that has to be such a coincidence. Then
I can't not say the whole thing. When was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson doing wrestling?
In the 90s. I mean, I can remember as a kid, but like he started when I had memories.
It's pretty close.
I know, but
27 is 1991.
I'm 27, and I can remember when The Rock first started, so I know he didn't start when I was.
Okay,
1.
that's fair. Okay, all right. Maybe The Rock met this guy, and I was like, I gotta go into wrestling for some reason. Okay, so this is strange. I don't think I'm gonna watch the video. Maybe it's 21 seconds.
Oh, my video didn't load. Oh, it did load now.
Okay, can we talk about the subheader, which is several pallets of produce were allegedly tainted by the suspect's butt? Like, some guy wrote that and like on purpose, right?
Oh, they knew what they were doing. There's no way they didn't. Which I tip my hat to them. That was clever.
So what's nice about this one is finally we start with a villain and the article is about something actually bad happening.
Yeah, it's pretty
Instead
villainous.
of like the ones where it's like, man donates 10,000 pairs of pants to orphanages. And we're like, fuck, how are we going to... I don't know, they're defective pants.
They were poisoned.
Electrocute them? I don't know.
Yeah. This will be a little easier, I think.
Well, let's hope anyway.
Do they have surveillance footage of him doing it, or no? It doesn't look like it.
Allegedly, they say allegedly seen.
Oh, okay.
So, although his police spokesperson told NBC Washington she did not know what type of produce Johnson allegedly defiled, a police report mentioned it was fruit. So that's important for our own knowledge.
That is, avoid any fruit in the Virginia area.
What a wild, bizarre thing to do with your time.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, is there any comment from him, any quote on why he was doing it?
No, it says that the authorities have not determined a possible motive. So at the time of this writing, at least he was mum on the whole thing.
It's like, I'm trying to even think what would possess you to do that? Like, did you, like, if you were looking at fruit and you're like, oh, my butt itches, and you just like rub the fruit on it? Like, not thinking.
You just had you guys don't understand. My butt was just so itchy. What was I supposed to do?
I mean, everyone's butt itches. Let's be real. Like, let's be human for a second. So, I mean, it's possible, but
dog, use your hands.
Yeah.
It's not even like I didn't want to be gross in the store because you did a grosser thing.
This is so true. So
what do you think? You got anything hit you off the top of your head about what could be going on here?
No, I mean, not that's kind of like, I was like, is he farting on it? But what does that do?
I thought maybe like, so here's what I sort of went through. I don't think it's anything yet, but so the like on the face of it, you could say that like the lowest hanging fruit that I see, or like the thing that first came to me was like, he's leaving something on the fruit. But I was wondering maybe he's like trying to take something from the fruit, like absorbing something from it. But then I'm not sure where to go with that. Like try and reverse it, but I don't know if that gets us anywhere. Like the nutrients, but I don't know.
I see what you mean by that. But at first what I thought you were saying was like there was something on the fruit that he was trying to like sneak away. Like there's like some super secret microchip and he's like, gotta rub this on my butt.
How do I get this off?
Into my secret pocket and go.
Because whatever it is, if we decide to go with like taking something from it, for whatever reason he's doing it, he's not just choosing to purchase the fruit and just do it at his house. Like,
oh yeah, good point.
He's for whatever the motive is, he doesn't want to buy the fruit.
Now what would that be?
Maybe he is leaving something behind that like infects other people.
That he forgot his wallet.
Shit. I was going to rub fruit on my butt, but I forgot my wallet at home. Classic Michael. Do you think Dwayne would do this, Michael? He wouldn't. Slaps himself.
Kid's got issues. Leaving something on it probably makes more sense. It's probably the easy one too, though. Because yeah, I mean, like it's something super easy to go down. Just be like, yeah, he like leaves some on it, and then the next person who bites into it, they become a zombie or something like that.
But what is that thing? What is the thing that happens?
Maybe he's like Gambit, and his butt is the source of the power, and he can put energy into things.
Oh, so he's kind of making bombs.
Yeah, and then the fruit just blows up.
Like they're just delayed, so maybe when somebody bites into it, they explode. Like just because that releases the energy or something.
Yeah, that could be it. But why is he just like doing it at random? Just wants to cause chaos.
This is the good point. We have to speculate about his motives because he has given no information about why he did this.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out because like, does he know the president's gonna bite into that piece of fruit?
Let me hit you with something.
Okay.
He knows that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shops at this store. And he's trying to do an assassination of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in a non-obvious way.
He's just not very good at it.
He's got his one skill, and that's for some reason that is TBD. He can turn fruit into a explosive weapon by rubbing it on his butt.
And he's doing just kind of like well, how would I word it? Like spread shot. Like I'm just gonna rub a bunch of fruit. Hope that Dwayne Johnson gets
Dwayne. He knows that Dwayne. Now this is probably not true because the man like eats basically only protein, I think.
Yeah.
But he knows that Dwayne loves a good pear. That's his guilty pleasure is a pear or maybe a pineapple. Oof, ouch.
Ooh.
On the butt? No, thank you. But like he loves a good juicy pear. And so he knows when Dwayne chops there, so he just goes in. He's trying to be subtle and rub all these pears on his butt with the hopes that Dwayne's going to get him.
Okay, so he's just going for as many pears as possible.
Mm-hmm. See, I think you were right in saying it's like a spread, like basically just a scatter shot, hoping that he gets Dwayne. This man is clearly unhinged. To an extent, we don't need to like justify his actions with pure logic because he seems like he's insane.
A little crazy. He's like, this makes sense to do to take care of that. Because you mentioned The Rock's diet, I actually had to Google it because I thought I remember it being just absolutely insane.
It's like 10 to 15 pounds of cod or something every day.
Yeah, he has more than 5,000 calories a day spread over 7 meals. And a lot of it is cod, and the rest is eggs, steak, chicken, vegetables, and potatoes. No fruit. Doesn't look like.
Can't have those sugars, I guess.
Man, I would actually just explode if I ate all this.
Now, is this just you with your stomach issues, or do you think...
I just think a normal human would probably die if they tried this.
Okay. Oh, I mean, the 5,000 calories a day thing? Yeah, like he's only getting that because I think the other hours of the day are spent lifting and working out.
He's pretty big, I guess.
So, I don't know. How you feel about this avenue?
I like it. I think it's the best we got. Are we limiting it just to produce? Just fruit is what he can put his butt energy into. God, that's a weird sentence.
Well, that's a good point. We could say that he was caught with the produce, but there's no saying he didn't. Well, who knows what else
maybe he knows which type of... I was going to say shampoo, but The Rock is bald. What type of body wash he uses, and he was rubbing that in another aisle, but no one saw it.
Mm-hmm. And that's maybe what gets through.
So there's going to be a lot of like innocent bystanders getting hurt, though. Well,
yeah, I mean, I think this man... Maybe we should if we're committed to going down this rabbit hole, maybe we should take a step back and sort of analyze the history of this guy, both how he got his powers and what convinced him, what got him to the point where he was willing to kill Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in order to, like, this way.
Okay, well, I got powers right off the bat.
Oh yeah, tell me.
He was photocopying his butt on a defective.
Oh my God, Tanner! How did you do? You did it! I'm so happy with that. I had nothing. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At some point you were saying we got to figure out his other things, and it immediately clicked in my head. Photocopier, duh. Everyone copies their butts. Yeah, it was just defective, and like maybe it explodes, or maybe it just radiates them or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
just something goes wrong with it, and it ends up radiating his butt to an extreme degree, and leave it like there's so much potential energy in his butt. That he can just basically put it into other things.
Yes, exactly. So maybe he figured it out because, like what I was saying before, his butt itched and he just scratched it with whatever's in his hand, and then it blew up. I think that makes sense.
So I think that's great. So he was a real prankster that it ended up, if you'll pardon the pun, biting him in the butt.
You also did the low-hanging fruit pun earlier, so I mean, you're killing me right now.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize. So, I mean, I think we're good right there with the power origin. So, I mean, I'm going to say that like, so I had sort of an idea that I think could play very well into what you've put forward with the photo. I imagine Michael Dwayne Johnson to be like the most boring milquetoast man that has existed. And he is constantly compared to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is like extremely famous, so well known. And like over time, like he works in this office day in, day out. He's like a middle manager, and he just like snaps at the constant comparison to Dwayne. And maybe like the photocopying was his way of trying to like act out initially at his like seeming powerlessness of his existence, because he was just plain old Michael Dwayne Johnson. And it's just like got to him. People were always like, "Oh, Michael Dwayne Johnson, like the actor," and he'd be like, "No, but yes, but we're different."
No, that's like the SportsCenter ads where there was some like white middle-aged bald guy that was named Michael Jordan, and like he would show up at hotels, and like the people at the desk would be like, "Oh," and all bummed out about it every time, which was a good commercial.
Something that I'm sure that Michael B. Jordan has to go through almost all the
I think
time.
obviously there's a reason he went with the B. Also,
yeah, you have to.
It might just be because Michael Jordan, the basketball player, has to be part of the Screen Actors Guild, doesn't he? Since he was in Space Jam.
I think so.
And like, don't they require to be part of that your like name has to be unique?
Yeah, there have been some people like David Cohen, who works on The Simpsons, had to be David X Cohen.
Yeah.
When they got into the SAG stuff, because that was already taken. Which
is so weird. I mean, it's like, what am I trying to think of? Like a username in a like MMO game or something has to all be unique.
Yeah. That is weird. Like, I'm curious on the history behind that. I don't know if they just don't want like people, like if you're going to be in the Screen Actors Guild and put your name in credits, they want there to never be any confusion about which David Cohen it is. Cause according to the Screen Actors Guild, David Cohen always refers to this specific man, and David X Cohen always refers to this specific person.
So strange.
So that people can't take credit for other people's. I don't know. It seems like, I'm sure there's a reason for it that we just aren't privy to.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, what were we saying?
This dude feels so powerless in his life that he's attempting to kill Dwayne.
Do people like in his office ironically call him The Rock, and he probably absolutely hates it?
Oh man, he does. They call him Dwayne, and he's like, "That's my middle name. That's my middle name."
Or like they'll get him like for his birthday, they got him a cake with the Dwayne The Rock Johnson on it or something in the office, or like just his friends and family. Like no one gets how much he hates it.
So maybe it's these assholes who he initially does all the like photocopied butt pictures for, and he like slips them into their reports and stuff.
Oh,
so initially that's just his way of fighting back.
I thought he was gonna say like put them on their desk, but putting them in their reports is way better. I love that.
Anderson, what is this butt doing in my report? And then Anderson gets fired. Is kind of what I was imagining.
And is the snapping point with The Rock himself, like does he go to a wrestling event at some point? And I don't know how to do it. Like, does he try to meet him and The Rock shuts him down, or does he try to attack The Rock, or none of that? And we just go to he knows The Rock shops here.
So I think we could. Why would he? I'm trying to imagine why would he want to meet him? Because he doesn't like the comparison, but does he like The Rock anyway? Because the other thing I was thinking was sorry, no, actually, you go ahead.
I was just saying maybe he just wants advice from The Rock. He's like, what do you think I can do to like not
from one Dwayne Johnson to another?
Yeah,
like help me. And The Rock's like, man, there's only one Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And then he raises his eyebrow. Oh wait, do you get that? You never watched wrestling, did you?
I know the look though. Yeah. Like there's the Dwayne The Rock Johnson eyebrow raise that everybody knows.
Yeah, so he just does that.
And the guy is so like. He's like, there's only one. I think if The Rock were to say there's only one Dwayne The Rock Johnson, that would really piss that guy off. And he's like, yeah, there is only going to be one, and I'm going to kill this motherfucker.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And then the people's eyebrow. That's what it's called.
It's really called. If I search the people's eyebrow, will I find this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm tempted because the thing above that is the people's elbow, but I'm going to ignore that.
The people's elbow is also his move. It's his finisher.
What is why is it what? Why does he get what? Since when did Dwayne The Rock Johnson start speaking for my body parts? This is the people's elbow. No, sir, my elbow is different than yours.
I never really thought of what the name meant because I was a little kid also. But yeah, no, his move was called the people's elbow, so that's how he would finish someone off. And
I'm starting to get mad at Dwayne.
And he still, it makes sense. He still goes to wrestling events sometimes, so he would just go to whatever The Rock's at, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, like maybe he even like springs for some sort of VIP background thing so you can actually talk to him, or he tries to like grab him on his way out, like, help, I'm also named Dwayne Johnson. How do I better myself to be more like you? And he's like, there's only one Dwayne Johnson, and he keeps walking. People's eyebrow, yeah. People's elbow, and then keeps moving.
Gives him the people's elbow?
Okay, maybe not.
That would be funny. That may be part of why he hits him as well.
And this guy's gonna say that he has the people's butt. You know?
That makes perfect sense.
Well, I'm okay. So we got a good origin story here. So flash forward, this guy starts like stalking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and starts to like learn his patterns. Learns that he loves COD, and always buys it himself. Always. So maybe if you think because you were mentioning that like maybe we go for the COD instead of the pears.
Oh, I mean, we don't have to because it's all fiction anyway. I was just wanted to look up his diet because I thought it was ridiculous, which it was.
Yes. So okay, fine.
The idea of him rubbing a fish on his butt is pretty funny too.
Yeah. He knows because The Rock, of course, he's made a little money in his time, and he has a very specific COD that he likes at the grocery store. So he's always going to get that fancy piece of COD that almost no one else is actually going to buy.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So then this dude rubs it on his butt, and then what happens? Does The Rock die in our universe?
No, I think it has to be something like, so because it says this in Virginia, maybe The Rock was in Virginia filming a movie, because he does like 30 movies a year. Like, holy crap.
That's how he makes all his millions of money.
So he finally is like, okay, I'm going to do it, and he rubs his butt on the COD, and then like The Rock has left town that day because the movie was done filming, and it just like blows up in the grocery store at some point or something like that.
So then how do we this feels like a good button on the guy's like origin story. What does he go on to do? Like, is he now a serial, like, does he sort of just lose it that he failed and he just starts to cause anarchy in places across the United States? Like, he is clearly caught. Maybe he gets out. I don't know, like, because like in order for him to continue to be a villain, like, is that the end of his story, or does he somehow get out and continues to cause chaos?
I think he has to get out and continue to cause chaos, but I guess
he's got his butt.
Yeah, so I mean,
they can't take his butt away.
Maybe they arrested him before the COD even blew up because they just saw him rubbing it, and then in the jail cell that night, he rubs whatever they give him, and he blows up the wall and gets out. But what does he do? Does he keep chasing The Rock down? Maybe
he does. Maybe that's it's a constant like game of cat and mouse where he's attempting to kill Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson via explosive fruit or other food, and he just continues to fail.
So like Dwayne Johnson just keeps barely getting away from, like, at one point he's like on set actually and like rubs some of the catered food on his butt, and like a stagehand grabs it and it blows up.
I wonder if at some point, like, is this like a situation where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson knows that this is happening, or is it like a sort of funny, humorous comic where Dwayne always gets out of this one but never realizes that he's even in any danger?
I was kind of picturing the humorous one, kind of like,
yeah, I think that would be funny,
like Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote sort of thing.
Exactly, and like it's a nice, good light comic. We do a lot of heavy comics, some serious subjects we tackle.
Yeah.
Finally, time for some humor on this goddamn podcast.
Yeah, it could even be like he gets mad because the fruit didn't blow up when he expected to, so he runs up and like starts shaking and getting mad, and it blows up in his face, and his beak spins around backwards.
He's just comically bad at what he's trying to do.
Yes, I picture it very Looney Tunes now. This is more fun because I don't want to hurt The Rock. He's precious.
No, I will protect The Rock with my life if I have to.
At all costs.
Even a fictional Rock that doesn't exist. So now when this guy gets out, do you think it's worthwhile to move on to like figure out his costume?
Yeah, I'd say we've got the story really solid, actually. So
I have a thought
okay,
on the costume.
Let's do it.
I think the core of it, I think he's inept. We've basically indicated that he's inept and is going to fuck up everything he's trying to do. I think that therefore his costume should be sort of shitty, and at its core, it should be a pair of those full body pajamas with the flap in the back. So he's got easy access to his butt at all times.
Yes, 100% that.
What are those called?
They're footy pajamas, but with the butt flap. What are those called?
I don't know if there's a name for them. I'm just gonna search footy pajamas with bum flap. So cute, Google.
Oh yeah, that's probably a better way of wording it.
I don't know what this actually is, but it's the title on Amazon is footy pajamas for adults with butt flap Italian scooter. Oh, okay. The pattern on them is an Italian scooter.
Oh, it's not called an Italian scooter. I found something called Flapjacks, the pajama company. I
think that's because I think like historically when I imagine, I don't know why, but I do imagine it being sort of like a lumberjack thing that they would wear, and it'd be like sort of like a fleece or a flannel sort of material, very warm for those cold nights while logging.
Yeah, I guess that way when they had to go to the outhouse, they wouldn't have to like drop their whole drawers and get everything cold. I think that's what the point of it is.
I think so.
Man.
So he's wearing those.
Yes.
What else is he wearing?
Does he have a cape because he's like kind of dumb or not very good at what he does, so he just thinks he needs a cape?
This is what he thinks a villain should have?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's like a sheet from his bed, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I know we go to this well a lot, but I love it so much. What about a bandolier with like some cucumbers in it? Just like in case, you know?
It makes sense. Or it could be...
He's got to be prepared to get out of there. He won't ever be captured again. He can't let it happen.
Maybe not even just cucumbers. It could be completely random items, and he's always restocking just by grabbing whatever's near him, like a salt shaker and stuff like that, so it's completely random.
Because his butt thing is not limited to... He just happened to do it with fruit, but it could be anything, right?
Yes, yeah. I think we settled on that. Well, we are now, at least. What's he have for a mask?
A sleep mask that he cut eye holes into.
That's really good. Probably came with pajamas.
Yeah, so basically he went into his bedroom and looked at his bed and was like, where he had laid out his pajamas for the night, and he was like, wait, I know, I have an idea.
This is it. Okay, that's pretty good for the costume then.
What about, do you want to do comic book cover or name?
I don't know. What have we been doing more? I think name. Because I like to do name first because I like to sometimes picture how the name appears on the comic book cover. Because you sometimes do fun stuff with that.
Let's do it.
Okay, name.
So I have one idea that I thought of.
All right, let's hear it.
Because you mentioned, we first got on this whole track by saying Gambit. Like, what about Gambut?
Gambut.
But I feel like we should mill around a little bit and talk over some options.
That's pretty funny, but it does basically imply like you have to understand what Gambit is.
Yeah, it's like it's not evident what. Well, if you know who Gambit is, Gambut you might be able to get there, but yeah, to the layman they might not know.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Let's see.
I was tempted to say bum bandit, but like he's not stealing.
No, but it is very good alliteration. I'm writing it down. Bum bandit.
I bummed it.
What else? Butt explosion. Boom butt.
Boom butt I actually do like.
It's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple, but I sort of love. Okay, I think it's important. This is not. I'm not saying this because it's easier for us, but we did set precedent that everything about his whole persona is shitty.
That's true.
He thinks he's being very clever when he's actually like, when it's actually just awful.
Man, Boom Butt does make a lot of sense then, especially because it's supposed to be more lighthearted too.
Yeah.
Ah, shoot. I think. Is there anything else? Boom Butt does work really well.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that we could pull out that he's like with The Rock or Dwayne Johnson.
That's what I was trying to think of too. I mean, he could be dumb and call himself
Dwayne the Butt Johnson, but
that's good. Dwayne the Butt Johnson.
I mean, if his whole thing is that he's like there's only going to be one Dwayne Johnson after this is done, then I guess.
Dwayne the Butt Johnson.
Or Dwayne Boom Butt Johnson.
That might be better, because that combines the best of both of those things.
I would be down with that.
So Dwayne Boom Butt Johnson or Dwayne the Boom Butt Johnson?
I think it would be, even though I like Boom Butt better, I think the Boom Butt at least pulls in the whole The Rock thing.
Yeah. Yes, I think that's it.
So what would a comic book cover look like?
Comic book cover.
Now that we have our name.
And it's so simple to do the origin, but I love the idea of him sitting on the photocopier and he falls in through it or something, and that's what causes it. Yeah.
And you maybe we get a little X-ray view of his butt, just indicating that something is not he is being hit with some sort of radiation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In a very comic book style. Obviously in real life his butt wouldn't turn invisible if he. Also, there's no bones in there, so.
That was very comic booky. I know it's so simple to do that, but I really like the idea of that for this guy.
I do like it too.
Okay.
And his little name tag says Michael Dwayne Johnson on it.
Oh yeah, perfect. And then just says Boom Butt above, and then in small letters beside on both sides it says Dwayne and Johnson on both sides of Boom Butt.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
So it focuses on the Boom Butt part. Shit, is that it?
I think we did it. We didn't get off on many tangents today. I think we had a story that we were really comfortable running with. So
yeah, getting to the story really helped keep us on focus for once.
So yeah, I think we have everything that we need. I'm very happy with Dwayne the Boom Butt Johnson.
Yeah, we kind of just nailed that. It all came together super easily for once in our life when it comes to creating something.
Finally a win for us.
All right, so
Tanner, do you want to play us out?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get us out of here. That was issue number 70 of Headline Heroes, featuring our new supervillain, Dwayne the Boom Butt Johnson, who hates Dwayne the Rock Johnson, is trying to take him out because there can only be one, just like Highlander. Or the movie The One with Jet Li.
How did we avoid saying the word Highlander until just now?
I don't know. It's pretty embarrassing. I'm sorry we let you down, guys. Anyway, at this time, as always, we want to thank Brett Jacobson for creating the art for the show. Brett has killed anyone he's ever met with the same name as him. So you better spell your name with one T if you don't want to die if your last name's Jacobson. Nate?
Good warning. PSA. Surprise PSA at the end of this. We also want to thank Carl Sorensen. Carl hasn't killed anybody, but he did make that I know of, but he did make the music for this podcast, and he did all the post-processing of all the audio. If you're interested in doing any sort of musical project with Carl, you can reach out to him at carljsorensen.com.
Nice. If you have any articles you'd like to see us discuss, there's a lot of different ways you could get them to us. We have an email address, which is headlineheroescast@gmail.com. Or you can tweet them at us at headline_heroes. There's also our Facebook page, just Headline Heroes. We have a subreddit, which is r/Headline Heroes, which is always bumping. And you can call our voicemail. You don't necessarily have to submit an article that way. I suppose you could. I don't know. We could try to find it if you reach the headline. Otherwise, you can just give us comments or just literally anything you want to do. We will probably play it, as we typically do.
Yeah, we've had people call for things entirely unrelated to our podcast, and we still played them. So,
so yeah, if you want to get on a podcast, just call the number. And that number, of course, is 319-596-6766. And also, if you want to give us a review or subscribe to us, that'd be tight. We appreciate it. Am I missing anything else? Drew normally does this part.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I think we're good.
All right. Crushed it.
All this information is also available in the show notes if you need
show notes. All right. So I can close it out now, right?
Yeah, please release us.
We thank you for joining us, and we hope you'll pick up the next issue of Headline Heroes.